Babies are a blessing, no matter how they get here. Are we to ensure then that the conditions remain unclear? Because things are not perfect and life is hard, and society doesn't stop and invisible forces are in charge. And we don't take stock or even take time to really nurture ourselves, let alone a precious child. So our babies having babies have been given license to survive. And the only thing to know is how much benefits they will provide. And what other kind of freeness poverty will inspire. A generation of dependents count like flames in a fire. Stories and witnesses helpless. I just don't know what to do. Parents scared of their own spoiled brats like they didn't make the youth. Reports repeat retorts of disdain, destruction and despair. And solutions aren't even the focus because our masses do not care. Depleted facilities, robust policing and no general sense is common. And intellects hold their tongue so as not to intimidate with intellectual jargon. Mob mentality driving life onwards, no real specific direction. And the hatred has polluted all minds. There's no discrimination with this infection. Frantic screams and squeals and from undisclosed crevices all at once into the atmosphere. Wild accusations, irrational statements breed the collective monster called fear. In our uninformed fright, we find anything to justify the plethora of emotions and adrenaline, and continue to deny that it's part of a nature and blame and attribute it on the feminine. So I have a request, a heartfelt plea. I appeal to the best part of your humanity, to the place you go to learn, forgive and understand. For we have some work to do, every woman and every man. Can we please take a moment, please, to think of the children? As it stands, we stand, it would seem, for chaos and confusion. These poor babes have no clue of the oblivion they are born into, yet are blamed unashamedly for the decisions one makes in youth. I take this time to make my plea. Can somebody think of the children, please? The latest babysitter is no good. The service is detrimental. Parents, take your responsibility seriously. Your guidance is essential. Kids getting bigger and basic speech they cannot handle. Little zombabies turn beasts if you dare change the channel. Young mothers grinning proudly. This child is too bad. Can't nobody talk to my child. The sentiment is just sad. Tell live vision occupying their developing thought space. Yet you wonder why your under 10-year-olds struggle largely to communicate. Showered with gifts, a standard, like the misguided babe deserves it. If he breaks it in one of the many tantrums, money you don't have can replace it. Kids pacified once more. You can return to your peers to drink and be merry. And you don't know who your children are talking to. But why does your 6-year-old have a BlackBerry? Left up to technology and the ever honest media, nobody's raising these kids anymore. So when they stop being cute and use their bad attitudes on you, your shock meets your heart on the floor. I remind you of my request from the very depths of me, and appeal once more to your humanity, to the place you go to learn, forgive and overstand. For we have some work to do, every woman, every man. Can we please take a moment, please, to think of the children? As it stands, we stand, it would seem, for chaos and confusion. These poor babes have no clue of the oblivion they are born into, yet are blamed unashamedly for the misguided decisions one makes in youth. I take this time to make my plea. Can someone think of the children, please? The biggest trouble I see in these my tender years is a common lack of male influence when we watch how children are reared. Even the term reared I use extra lightly, because they are being dragged up to be someone unsightly. So adulthood ensues and the law is applied. When these non-taught children age in charge of their lives, relationships are unpopular and the sexes cannot be friends. So child support becomes a standard benefit to make amends. And I should have some kids by now, man or no man. Normal to go fumbling through life without working a plan. I couldn't do that to a life. Make one without being ready. So I'm wrong for wanting quality and a life that's more steady. But can I take this time to remake my request? Open your ears and your hearts, whichever will give you this message the best. May the words resonate so you can firmly stand, knowing we have our work to do, every woman, every man. Can we please take a moment, please, to think of the children? As it stands, we stand, it will seem, for chaos and confusion. These poor babes have no clue of the oblivion they are born into, yet are blamed unashamedly for the decisions one makes in youth. I take this time to make my plea. Can someone think of the children, please? These children are the future. Blah blah youth, blah blah growth. Constant talks around the young, sentiments used by those who only care to boast. You are not a superhero for raising your kids alone, nor having more than the average, so let's get off that tone. Babies are born with the knowledge of the universe, only to be dumbed down by our teaching in societal commerce. Please refrain from projecting your fears and shortcomings on the baby who comes with messages of how better to run things. They don't deserve your insecurity and lacking discernment, yet so many babes enter in through fleeting moments. No time is really spent, and stupid baby mamas excuse their blatant idiocy and pardon this sentiment, but why does your 4-year-old casually play with your titty? And these thugs that get to be fathers are either absent or in denial. And the answer to this mess is also known as Jeremy Kyle. So as if you didn't know, I have a question. And if it's too much to grasp, let me make it a suggestion. Because the state of affairs is too serious for TV. And my heart bleeds for the broken unit once called family. So can we please take a moment, please, to think of the children? They deserve some fresh air to this world of pollution. Every one of us cares and wants them to grow well and avoid the state we have endured in this life of hell. Once more, beautiful people, I make my plea. Can someone think of the children, please? The story doesn't stop at the patter of tiny feet. For all of us were once counting down in however many sleeps, and days were like seasons with adventures galore, and people stopped treating you like you were special anymore. And the friends you made in school, in the world famous playground, where friendship started and ended with thumbs up or thumbs down, now separated with age and ever massing inhibitions. Gone are the days when avoiding the mud was the only mission, and we grew, got too big and too serious for fun, now only feeling it in the lives of our little ones. So even we are the children who have had more time to play, but somehow we have distorted our joys through the day. So once more, may I ask you to return with me, because we are still the children, all of you and definitely me. It's a community necessity, not just my plea. Let us really think of the children, please.